the well-known kind of folk song ROE. It goes like this. It's also the same melody that whoever wrote Love Me Tender for Elvis lifted it off of that ROE melody. Love me tender, love me, you know. So now these chords, one thing about it, you want to look at this as four measure phrases, and if we just strum the first chord of each phrase, of each measure through a phrase, it would be, the first phrase would be C, D minor, G7, C. All right, now one thing about the phrases of this tune is that the first and fourth measure of each phrase, or I would just say each phrase begins and ends on a C chord. So again, that first phrase is C, D minor, G7, C. And then the next phrase is C, D7, G7, C. And then C, E7, and then two chords in one measure, A minor, G7, C. And then C, A7, D7, G7, C. So every phrase begins and ends with a C chord. So that's the one thing. You want to get to know these chord changes. And when you go to D minor, I would use the pinky on the third fret, mainly so that your third finger is free to jump on that G7 chord. After you do a D minor, you're going to go to G7. Now, there's a lot of things to look at here. This is not an easy thing to play. The pattern, what we're doing is arpeggios with a flat pick. Now, if I did it with my fingers, thumb and fingers, it's actually easier to play than it is with a flat pick. Because with a flat pick, you've got to skip strings and skip all over the place. With the thumb and three fingers, well, first of all, you have to have some finger picking technique. And if you don't, then you might want to develop it, on this song with the flat pick. And I designed this to do arpeggios that sound like finger picking with the flat pick, okay? So you want to get to know the pattern. It's down, 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 up, down, 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 up, and then down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. So it's 3 times going down, 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 up. So it's down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And that's in a 2-measure phraselet, Down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Now, it doesn't always follow this, but in the beginning you have that pattern. And so at first you might want to just take a C chord and just do it over and over again. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Repeat it. Hit the bass note of each 4-note pattern a little louder, so it sounds like a thumb note, kind of. Boom, 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 down, down, up, down, down, down. get started, like in that first phrase, you might do each chord like 4 times, and then do the D minor, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And then G7. Now that's a tricky one because you've got to skip from the 6th string to the 3rd string immediately. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So you're doing different combinations of string skipping with this pattern. And then C again, but a different pattern. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. Do it 4 times. So take your time with this. I did each chord, the pattern for each chord 4 times. And then try to do the whole phrase again. I missed one. It's hard to do a whole lesson on this and not make at least one mistake. I'll probably make a lot more. But anyway, now, the next thing to talk about is connecting your chords. And now, if a chord ends with an open string, you don't have to worry about the connection to the next chord. Just let it ring and go to the next chord. But if the chord, like on D minor, the 2nd chord, it ends with the pinky note on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then you're connecting to the 6th string. And what I would suggest, get used to lifting your fingers except for that pinky, and then reach for the low G, and then let go of the pinky right when you hit the G. So listen to the sound. And you might purposely linger on that note to hear it connect. Reach. As soon as you play the bass note of the next chord, you can lift the one that you're sustaining. Another thing is that when you hit that last note, like if you don't think anything about the connection, often what happens is this. You'll hear this. You hear that? Da. Yeah. And you'll hit it too loud, and you'll cut it too short to get to the next chord. And you don't want to do that. You want to be kind of like a monkey holding a branch at the same time he's reaching for another branch. So you're holding this pinky as you're reaching for that G and then connecting. And that you're going to have to look at all the chords, especially that end with a fretted note. Like on the next chord, the G7, it ends with a 1st fret and you're connecting to a C. And that's not as difficult as that D minor to G was. And another thing about if it's the 1st fret, like this G7, this is another thing that can happen. You'll get an unwanted, undesirable pull off by just lifting your finger too violently right before the chord change. And you don't want that. You want to do it gracefully. And you have to sometimes just relax the pressure and then take the finger off. Otherwise you get just taking it off, you get that unwanted pull off. So listen for those things and try to be sensitive to it. Okay, now in the third phrase, this is probably the most unusual phrase. You're going from C to E7. All you have to finger is a G sharp. But the string skips are treacherous, so sorry. Then you have this A minor, and you're playing on the inside strings, so you're not hitting the first string, and then connecting, and then you've got to get your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and that's a kind of G7 chord. Now when you do that, the A minor, hold that C as you connect, and I would keep holding it, until you play the open B. So you're going to hold that C longer, that 1st fret of the A minor, hold it into the G7, and then let go of it when you hit the open 2nd string. So go through it slowly and linger on each thing. Let go, and then, okay? Now the 4th phrase, the last phrase, the first 2 chords are kind of tricky in that you're not playing this 2nd finger on the 4th string, but I would go ahead and finger it because it's common to both the C and the A7 chord, and it will give you an anchor, but you're not playing that string. You're skipping over it. See, I'm not ever playing it, but connect, and the last notes are slow. They're quarter notes, so they're twice as long. Down, down, up, down, down, and then that's a half note, and then another half note. So you're really putting on the brakes at the end. So that's ROE. And so I'll go through it maybe one more time slowly, but in the beginning I went through it kind of fast because really when you're playing it with the melody, it should go about that fast. So it can go really fast. It's like finger picking, but we're using a flat pick. So I'm going to go through it slowly, and you can practice it slow with this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and actually I'm going to count it in cut time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Connect. It's real easy to connect there because it's the same chord, right? Then D7. Connect this 1st fret to the bass note of the G. Connect this to the bass note of the C. Strum 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. E7. A minor. Hold that 1 till you hit the open. And then hold the 2nd finger, just keep it on C. And A7. You're not playing it, but you're holding it. Connect 1st fret to the bass note. You could do it slower than this if you need to. 2, 3, 4. So I was counting it in cut time sometimes, and then sometimes in 4/4. So at the end there, it might be better to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but the bulk of it, I would count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Connect. Okay, so really work on those, the last note of one chord to the downbeat of the next chord, and connect the sound. You don't want to let them overring that much. It's okay if they do a little bit, but it could be confusing to your hand. So you want to let go of the D, that pinky, right when you play the G with your third finger. So work on those spots, and there's a lot to work on with this one. It's kind of a bear. Okay, I mean, it took me a lot of takes to get through the first time through without any mistakes. So even for me, it's kind of, it's a tricky one. So I'm just being honest. Okay, so subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, and subscribe to John Hedger Guitar Studio on Facebook. Thank you so much.